Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Century 17 video. Today, I'm going to be going over 10 trades that I think could possibly happen at the MLB trade deadline. Keeping it short and sweet. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe because more content on the trade deadline is going to be coming out in the next couple of videos. Leave a like on this video if you did enjoy as always. And boy, let's get right into the video. Let me preface this video by saying there are a couple of them that are kind of stretches. I also would like to preface this by saying Juan Soto trade will not be in this video. That is a completely different video to itself, in the top 5 suitors coming out sometime this week. These are in no particular order, so we're just going to start off with the first one / 10th one that I thought of. Phillies would be receiving Brad Miller and Martin Perez, and the Rangers would receive Logan O'Hoppe, I don't know, Mick Abel, Johan Rojas, and Simone Muzziotti. Phillies don't have a really great farm system in the first place, but guys like O'Hoppe and Mick Abel have been solid in the farm system. Johan Rojas is just a guy who was recently drafted playing A-ball right now. Simone Muzziotti is a guy who's had a couple of MLB games under his belt, but a pretty high prospect for them. O'Hoppe would be the main piece in this one. The Rangers would get a catcher, they get a reliever, and they get 2 outfielders in this case. They give up Brad Miller, who is on a 1-year contract anyway. Phillies could use another bench bat and definitely another starting pitcher with the amount of injuries that they're facing right now. The 9th / 2nd trade, I'll just say 9th. The 9th trade I thought of. Andrew Benintendi going to the Padres, and the Royals are getting back James Wood, an outfielder, and Robert Hassell III. So the Padres aren't giving up their best prospect by any means, and they're not giving up CJ Abrams, who already is in the MLB, I know. James Wood and Hassell are 2 bona fide outfielders that they're going to be getting back for Andrew Benintendi. Padres would then have, a good chance to re-sign Benintendi, who's a guy who really could fit in San Diego. And if they're not going to go out and get Soto, which I don't think they have the pieces to do it, then they'd probably go out and get Benintendi. The 8th trade that I thought of was the Red Sox trading for Josh Bell. The Nationals getting back Tristan Casas, Nick York, and Bobby Dahlbeck. Again, in this case, Red Sox aren't having to give up guys like Jeter Downs or something like that, but they are going to give up a good first base prospect in Casas and a good second base prospect in York, and Bobby Dahlbeck would go over there because he's a younger guy who would I don't even know. He would do for the Nationals for the next year or two. Arbitration coming up, yeah. The 7th trade that I thought of, the Braves trading for Tyler Mahle, the Reds getting back Bryce Elder and Jesse Franklin V. A couple of high prospects within the Braves organization in the top 15. Tyler Mahle is no absolute stud by any means. I think this year he's posting a high 3s ERA. The Braves do need starting pitching depth, and I think that this is definitely a realistic guy that they could go after. To be real, they don't have a super strong farm system because they kind of blew it up last year with all the trades they made last year, but they have enough to get a guy like Tyler Mahle who will do for them for now to help with Fried, with Morton, with Strider. Or Strider just removed from the bullpen, I believe. But guys like that. The 6th trade that I thought of, the Dodgers getting Jose Quintana and the Pirates getting back Bobby Miller and Maddox Brun. A couple of pitchers back in the deal. Again, the Dodgers are always going to have a good farm system. They're not giving up by any means their top guys. I think this is Pipeline's 4th and 6th on their thing. A couple of pitchers to get back. Jose Quintana is a guy who can lock down the back end of the Dodgers bullpen. Kimbrel has not been great for them this year by any means, so getting a guy like Quintana will help them make a World Series push. Another Phillies trade, this time it's for the Cubs. And now here's the thing, I didn't use any of the same players, but this is going to be a one or the other. The Phillies are going to get Kyle Hendricks and David Robertson. The Cubs are going to be getting back Hans Kraus, who's the 5th prospect in the Phillies organization, Francisco Morales, who's one of the top 3, and Casey Martin, who's a shortstop. So a couple of pitchers and a shortstop. Now what I want to say about this is Kyle Hendricks is thrown in there more as a bonus piece. David Robertson is the main piece definitely. They need bullpen help. Every team could always use bullpen help, but Kyle Hendricks is thrown there because he has a kind of hefty contract, and so the Phillies are not going to have to give up as much in return because they're taking on a contract like that. This would put them definitely over the luxury tax threshold, but it's going to be worth it. David Robertson has been very solid for the Cubs this year. Casey Martin, Hans Kraus are 2 guys that are pretty bona fide prospects. Hans Kraus is a little bit older for being a prospect, but it's just what the Phillies kind of have. And Francisco Morales is a guy who is showing what he can do in high A ball. The 4th trade that I thought of was the Yankees trading for Frankie Montas. In return, they'd be giving up Ken Waldichuk, the pitcher, and Trey Sweeney, the shortstop. Montas is a bona fide starting pitcher. Now, this might be a little hefty to some people. They're not going to be giving up their top guy in Volpe. Although people say Sweeney's better, I don't know. You're gonna have to give up one of the two to get this deal done, because Montas, even though he has health issues, he is a bona fide like starter. He'd help out this rotation a ton. Waldichuk, another guy within their top 10. Montas would be worth it if he can stay healthy. Besides the fact I think he has control. The third trade that I thought of was the Mariners trading for Brandon Drury and Mike Mustakis. The Reds would be getting in return Noel V. Marte, a shortstop, Edwin Arroyo, a shortstop, and Emerson Hancock, a pitcher. Arroyo is a guy who has a little bit of flexibility within shortstop to second base. The Mariners got really hot. They're 14 of their last 16 now. They're about to get swept by the Astros, I think, actually, which is kind of funny. But with that being said, they still do need help. Drury going to that team would be very big for them. I know they have a nice infield, but France, I think, is still injured. I don't know. Eugenio Suarez is playing that third base, so Drury would have to move somewhere else. Crawford playing short, Frazier playing second. This is where you get to a point where you're probably trading Frazier away, but you're not going to trade him to a team like the Reds. Mike Mustakis is thrown in there because, one, he has a heftier contract, not like huge, but it's another guy who can play the infield if you do happen to trade away Adam Frazier, and then you just have more pieces that you can use off the bench. DH exists. You can rotate guys through as well. The second trade that I thought of was the Brewers trading for David Peralta from the Diamondbacks, and they would be getting back Bryce Turang, an infielder, and Sal Frelick, an outfielder. Brewers are another team who just do not have a very strong farm system in the first place. They need a bat so badly, though. The pitching is always going to be great, but they need a bat very badly. This is a guy who you can get in David Peralta, who is going to be very serviceable, but it's not going to cost a ton. Like, you're going to have to give up your best prospect because that isn't very great in Frelick, but in the end, it probably is going to be well worth it. And the number one trade, although it's not really in any particular order that I have written down here, is the Cardinals trading for both Wilson Contreras and Ian Happ. In return, the Cubs will be getting Dylan Carlson. Yes, I know this is crazy. Matt Liberatore, Jordan Walker, and Mason Wynn. Molina is up there in age. We all know this. Contreras would be a guy who could definitely replace him and is very good with his bat. And if you have him, you can rotate him through the DH. Ian Happ is a guy who is very serviceable defensively, which is what the Cardinals like. Has a great bat this year. He also switch hits, which is great for them. So you're replacing a switch hitter with a switch hitter. Liberatore has been nice, yes. Carlson has been nice, yes. But Carlson's batting average has not been up there with the likes of Happ. It's a lot to give up, I know. And I know that they're one of the front runners for Soto right now. But this is a much more realistic trade that could happen, especially because both these guys are really realistically on the trade block. Let me know what you think about these trades that I came up with a comment down below. Make sure you leave a like as well as subscribe to the channel down below. More trade deadline content coming at you in the next week or so. With that being said, peace out and have a blessed one. I love you guys.